Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Vanessa Dunn Guyton, and I am the proud founder and executive director of Hush No More. Hush No More supports survivors when they're ready to come forward to share their story, when they need resources, or just to have someone to listen to. We also provide training in our community to different churches, youth groups, wherever we can have an opportunity to have a conversation in our community. That is what we do. We believe that we have to focus on the hush topics because people are not talking about them. Hush topics are sexual assault, domestic violence, human trafficking, child sexual abuse, incest, all of those things that happen to us, but that we keep a secret, we don't share, we don't tell anyone about it. I am real big on talking about it because I was one of those survivors that did not share it. And so I want to heal, I want to get to the next level, and that's our journey. So this month I have been focusing on healing because that is so very important. So today we are going to talk about holistic practices to help you heal trauma. It is possible to do some things to just get to the next level. And so I am honored to bring on my guest today. With me, I have the beautiful Teaira Mack. Welcome, Teaira.
Hello. Thanks for having me, Mother.
Hello. So this is my daughter. I am so proud of her. I wasn't sure if I was going to tell anybody that this is my daughter, but she brought it out. So this is my daughter, Teaira. I'm very proud of her journey, and I'd like to share some of the things that she has done to really help people heal as it relates to trauma. So, Teaira, tell us a little bit about you and part of, your spiritual journey, what you've been through, and just sum it up for us so we can get an idea of where you are coming from and where you are going.
Okay, well, definitely. Well, once again, thank you so much for having me. It's definitely been a journey to get here, to be here. So I'm definitely glad to be here. I would say my journey just really started out as a child trying to figure out what mental health looked like to me. So kind of, dealing with a lot of different things as far as mental health, battling mental health in early teenagehood, right around puberty. That was kind of like really when I look back, the beginning of everything. Um, Most recently, with my journey, of course, I've kind of dived into it, getting married, being a mother, trying to figure out, what direction I'm going to next step that I want to take. So that definitely did, impact my journey a whole lot. So coming from mental health, dealing with mental health as a child.
Oh man, we lost Teaira. So hopefully she'll come back because she has so much to share as it relates to holistic practices. So hopefully she could bounce back into the studio. But unfortunately, that happens when you just really ready to talk about something. So what I'm going to talk about is how I look at holistic practices and what I have done in my life to try to heal and to get to the next level. Because healing doesn't happen overnight. It's a journey that you have to do every single day to work on it, to get to the next level, and to just to believe in yourself and know that you can do this, right? To know that you can do this. And so I always want to share my own perspective as well. But Tiara's back. So I am going to share what I've done. But welcome back, Tiara. I was going to go ahead on and start talking about me because you just
I'm
disappeared from the
sorry, I don't know
studio.
what happened. Yeah, it just went out on me. I'm sorry about that. So of course, being on my journey, getting married was basically the beginning, another beginning for me. So getting married, now being a mother, trying to figure out who I am again, what direction I'm going into. That was a lot for me at once. Definitely a lot for me at once. That'll be a lot for anybody, especially kind of when you're not used to going into marriages and what to expect when you're going into marriage and becoming a mother. It's a lot to take on. So I really had to kind of figure out a way of how I could help myself, save myself, dealing with a job that was stressful, that was having anxiety attacks, panic attacks. I was just like, okay, there has to be another way. And then, of course, dealing with just like, childhood trauma, different things that we experience as children into adulthood, into as teenagers. It was a lot to kind of take on at one time. So the beginning for me was looking into meditation. Meditation, I could definitely say, actually saved my life. It definitely did. It taught me to be able to be still in the most chaotic moments, in the most trying times. Whenever we meditate, we know that helps us be able to calm our brain. So when you constantly meditating, it's training your brain to be in a relaxed state of mind and to be able to go back into that relaxed state of mind, even during the most chaotic situations or chaotic times. So meditation was definitely the start for me to say, okay, this is what I need to do. So when I started meditating, I started being able to sit with myself. I started being able to, my gift start coming to me, and I was able to kind of be able to see and hear different things that I needed to be able to manifest in my life and to make my life the best that I can make it. So that was definitely the beginning of me kind of going into this journey of in holistic healing. I wanted to find ways outside of medication. When you're young, you're a child, you're a teenager, medication is pushed on you. So I was determined to, okay, there has to be another way. There has to be a different way, a more healthier way or more holistic way that I can actually help myself. So that was my journey. That was me trying to find a more healthier, holistic way to help myself, to save my life, to be a better mother, to be a better wife, to be a better sister, daughter, friend. That was definitely my goal, kind of going on to this journey. I always knew that, when it come down to church, there is everything is around you, but there's always like a piece missing for me. So I was like, there's always a piece missing. Something just isn't right. It's something more to this of what they're telling us. So when I dived into my holistic journey, into my spiritual journey, I realized that I was the missing piece. All I had to do was literally step back into the circle and everything was one within me. I had to just align myself with everything that I really wanted. I had to see what I really wanted. I had to be and hear everything that I really wanted in order for it to actually gravitate to me. So that was the main goal. I wanted peace. I wanted, less anxiety. I wanted happiness. And I had to go out. I had to actually go out and find that for myself.
I love that. So you mentioned just as a child, just the teenage years were horrible for you. I witnessed it. It was a challenge with you being diagnosed with a lot of different mental illnesses and being on a lot of medication. And you did fight not wanting to be on medication. Now, what I do want to say is it's not that we don't believe in medication, right? This is not a show to be against medication. This is in addition to. So if you would like to use medication, you listen to your doctor. You can talk to your doctor about different practices that you could do and see if you could do this in conjunction with your medication. Some people come off their medication. We are in no way telling you how to do it, but just give you some ideas and some tips to add to what you're already doing, or if you're doing nothing at all, right? Because we want you to be healthy. We want you to pay attention to that. So remember that this is something that you could do in addition to, and just finding yourself. So your spiritual journey was just very interesting, Teaira. I've watched you grow. I've watched you change. If anybody's following you on social media, they've watched you grow. They've watched you change. Either they've seen how you have evolved from a spiritual standpoint. And you mentioned that meditation was one of them. At the end, I really want us to do a meditation, a short meditation, so people that have never done it before can experience it, because I think that's important. Most recently, you became a Reiki practitioner. Can you explain to people what is Reiki and how that can really help them? What is Reiki?
Okay, absolutely. This is where my heart is. So absolutely. So Reiki is a universal energy. It's not tied to any religion, any dogma, anything like that. It's purely pure energy, pure healing energy that I actually activate through my hands and through symbols. It is something that is of Asian descent. So it's different types of Reikis. But the one that I personally use is Usu or Usei. It depends on how you pronounce it. And I use the symbols and actually activate the energy through my hands and through the symbols. So I'm able to like align you with your chakras. I'm able to align your emotions. And also was really good for bringing out anything that you may be suppressing. So a lot of people with Reiki, it'll keep you grounded. It'll help you feel grounded, but it also brings up some of those traumas that you may have forgot, that you may have suppressed in the back of your mind, that you just don't really want to think about. Reiki is one of those things that how you go to a counselor and you just sit and you talk to them all day and you talk and you may feel like you got something accomplished, but at the end you're just like, what did I do? Well, when you come and see me in Reiki, I actually put the healing and I put the work to use. So instead of us just talking about it and not actually doing anything about it, the Reiki healing actually heals those deep rooted traumas that you may have inside of you that you don't even realize need to be healed. It also helps with, sleeping, depression, anxieties. It helps children who deal with ADHD. And it's also good for pain. So people who deal with like back problems, arthritis, just any type of pains in your body, Reiki actually helps heal that pain as well. It does heal that pain as well. So it's a really powerful energy. There's no type of negativity that comes with the Reiki energy. So you can come in with a bad attitude, and anything that you may have bad attitude with you, the Reiki energy will actually overpower that, and it will balance that out, and it'll bring, peace. It'll bring that balance. It'll bring that alignment to you. I always tell people, if it's anything that you're trying to achieve, whether that's good through any type of sexual trauma, child abuse, if you're trying to maintain some goals, reach goals, graduate college, Reiki is a practice that you definitely need to take up and be a part of, because it'll kind of help you, manifest and become your highest self, so that you can achieve and attain those goals that you have.
I love that. I love that. Now, people will question Reiki because, especially if you're in the church, if you have a religion, Christians, they don't really understand Reiki or know what it is. Some people say it's to worship the devil, that you can't heal anybody. Can you share the spiritual side of Reiki, of what you just said? Can you share how that works from a spiritual place?
Yes. So as far as when it comes to spirituality with Reiki, like I said, it's not necessarily tied to any religion. So it's not like it's all positive energy. So when it comes down to actually, it's straight God energy. So as you know, whenever you are praying to God, or if it's something that you need, that you trying to manifest from God, using God through God, it connects you directly to God, so that you'll be able to achieve those things. So even if you say it's all God driven, so it's not something that's is not, you don't believe in God, we're not actually, how can I say it? Just to kind of break it down for some, we are not actually like worshiping anything other than just kind of finding your highest self, when it comes down to it. Like I said, it's not tied to any type of religion, but it is something that you can actually feel it. So oftentimes during my Reiki sessions, you can feel it. So not only do I use Reiki, but I also use my own gift, just my gift is discernment and things like that during my sessions. Oftentimes I'm able to kind of pick up on things that people may need to be able to work through, and say, hey, this is something that you dealt with as a child. This is how you should deal with this now, and how we need to go about fixing this. So typically, anything that you're like scared of, it usually is, at the end of the day, it's to enlighten you. So it's not to scare you, it's not to bring you down, it's solely to enlighten you and to help you get through those tough times that you may be getting through. So one thing about it is too, I always tell people, you have to come open. You have to come open. You have to come open to the healing, open to understanding, because when you close yourself off, it is, the Reiki energy can definitely, get into closed off. But when you close yourself off, you just you're pulling yourself back from healing, from healing through those traumas that you deal with. And if your main goal is healing, especially when you're coming to me, then that's something that we want to make sure that we work through. My thing is healing from the root of things.
I think that's important. I wanted to talk about religion and Reiki and anything holistic, because I know that some people don't really understand it, or it's been taught differently to us. And so that's why it's really important. Elizabeth want to know, does Reiki help with somatic? So when you were talking about the body and the pain, can you explain that a little bit more? How it's connecting the physical, the pain, the body, like fatigue and things of that nature?
Yes. So when it comes down, okay, so for the Reiki energy, basically, when it comes down to like the pains in your body, it will is honestly amazing. So say for instance, if you have like a surgery, right? Like for instance, my grandmother, she had surgery on her hip and her knee. So when I went through and I did the Reiki, I was able to actually pull that energy directly into her knee and into her hip. Now, for some people, it may be immediate. For some people, you may gradually feel the pain go away. For some people, it may last for weeks, and some people, it may last for days. It honestly just depends on how your body is receptive to the energy that it receives, which is why it's very important for you to be open with it and being really honest with yourself about what your intentions are about it. So when I go through the Reiki sessions, the energy is going to go where it needs to go. But if I be very intentional about this is what we're trying to work on, then it'll make sure it kind of hones in on that particular area and be able to kind of soothe those pains. So when I say it'll help out with like any pains, any tension that you feel like in your back, any muscle pulling, it relaxes those muscles. So, you know, a lot of pains that we have, a lot of stomach pains, back pains, a lot of shoulder and neck pains, those things come from tension. Those things come from stress. Those things come from anxieties. So when we're able to actually release some of that tension, release some of that stress and those anxieties in your body, it makes a huge difference on your whole entire body. So a lot of people think like, oh, you know, I'm dealing with a gut issue. Typically your gut issue is going to stem from you having some type of anxieties that has your gut disrupted, and it's kind of just spreading out those bacteria all throughout your stomach and, you know, different places like that. So it's just going to keep you calm, relieve your stress so that you will be able to have that less pain, you know, on your body and different, depending on kind of what the situation that you're dealing with.
Okay. Thank you. I think it's important for us to realize that we can do something about our pain, right? There's some natural things that you can
Right.
do to help with pain. So Kathy said we get the energy put into smooth rhythm. So I think she's asking, like, does it make your rhythm smoother, or is it helping you with your breathing? Where does rhythm come from as it relates to Reiki?
So along with Reiki, I also do a lot of different. Just I want to make sure I'm actually understanding what she's saying. But along with Reiki, I do a lot of breath work. So a lot of your rhythms comes from your breath work. So during your Reiki session, I will actually walk you through how to properly breathe, how to properly be able to you know, take your breaths in deeply how you need to and push them out. So everything about your process is very intentional. It's very, very intentional. So as you go through, if you know, some people, when you catch yourself holding your breath, you know, you realize that you hold your breath a lot. So when you actually realize, like when you're doing meditation and you're going through Reiki and I'm going through your sessions, you'll remember to just breathe, you know, to remember to take that moment. A lot of people also hold their tongue at the roof of their mouth. If your tongue is at the roof of your mouth, then most likely you have tension somewhere else in your body. So throughout the day, stop yourself and realize, is the tongue at the roof of my mouth? Release your tongue from the roof of your mouth and relax your shoulders and remember to breathe, because that's real key. So when I'm going through you with your Reiki sessions and I'm kind of walking you through these things, those are things that I will teach you. And then as you come to your sessions, you know, repeatedly, because I have people who, you know, come repeatedly and they remember the things that I said to them during the session, you know. So it's not only me balancing you. A part of my sessions, I also give you, you know, messages and things that you need. That's not 100% all Reiki. That's also my gift. So you're able to kind of have a sense of security, a sense of confidence, a sense of courage to actually take on whatever it is you're ready to do. So the Reiki energy, along with my gift that I give to others, is kind of what helps, you know, balance it all out. It's really it's a complete balance.
All right. I got a question. T wants to know, how many sessions will a person need, and is one enough?
Okay, so it depends on how deep rooted the trauma is that we are dealing with, and I know her, yo. So it depends on how deep rooted the trauma is. Some people, you can have one session. If you feel like you're anxious, you have a lot going on, you can do one session. That one session may get you through that moment that you're experiencing right then and there. Especially if you just kind of like dealing with a whole lot. Like I had a girl today who was pregnant and she's about to go into labor, so it was good for her to have this session to kind of calm her, relax her, get her womb, her body ready for baby, her mind ready for a baby to come. So she's going to do that one session and, you know, maybe have one later. There's some people that I have that come weekly. So I have a female, she comes every week, you know, to do her session because that's just what she needs. She needs to kind of really dig deep into that healing. So if it's something that you're really constantly trying to work through right now, I would suggest a session at least every 2 weeks or at least every month, because it's kind of like a, you know, refresher to kind of get you through, work you through. If it's too heavy for you, you can always put time in between, because sometimes sessions are heavy. Sometimes you will leave feeling light as a feather and you're just ready to take on the world. It just depends on, you know, where you are in that. And that's why I do like consultations and I sit down so we can kind of figure out what's a good game plan for you, because I never want to do a session and then just leave you out there on your own to kind of conquer the world. I always want to be able to follow up, you know, with all of my clients and stay in contact with them just to make sure if they need anything more that, you know, I'm there for them. I would recommend at least after one, you're going to want to come back for another one. So Honestly, when you feel that sense of renewal, that sense of power, that sense of confidence and courage, you're like, okay, I need to go back. I'm breaking barriers here. So yeah.
So for me, I go once a month, and I need it because I work with a lot of people that deal with trauma on top of my own junk, right? That I got to deal with. And so it helps me to just release all the things that I've never had addressed, that I've never addressed. And my first time doing Reiki, I cried the first time because I just felt like I had all this weight that was off of me that I didn't even know was there. So it helped me. So for those who are interested in Reiki, and I know you do Reiki and you're a practitioner, and Teaira's in Columbia, South Carolina. For people that don't want to do it virtually, because you also do it virtually, how would they pick? How can you pick a Reiki practitioner? Like, what are some things you should look for, right? If they don't go with someone like you, like, how do you do this?
Right. So first and foremost, you have to be use your discernment. When you first meet someone, usually, do I connect with this person? Do I like them? So that's the first thing that you have to kind of go to. Like, use your discernment. Do you connect with them? Do you like them? And if you're really curious, you want to go into the next level, you just ask them, where did they get their training? When did they get their training? If you're, very specific about that, because that's also very important, kind of, where you got your training from. Were you trained properly? Is this from your heart? Are you doing this with pure intention? But the biggest thing about choosing a Reiki practitioner is most definitely using your discernment, and if you feel comfortable with that person. Because if you don't feel comfortable with them, whether that's talking to them, telling them, some of your deepest, darkest secrets, or even with them touching you, that'll let you know this is maybe not a person that I need to, speak to. There's also some different Reiki communities that you can actually look into, seeing where there's a local Reiki practitioner in your area. So that's a good one as well. And if anyone ever trying to find someone in your area, you can most definitely reach out to me. But one of the good things about Reiki is that there's no distance, time, or space that can actually block Reiki. So Reiki can also be done virtually. It can be done on the phone. It can be sent to someone without having to even touch them, see them, anything. So I can literally just be in one room, someone can be in the other room, and I can actually send Reiki healing directly to them. So I have some customers or clients who are actually not in the same city or state as me, and I'm able to actually completely connect to them with their energy and still send them the Reiki healing that they need. And honestly, that's the most beautiful, the most powerful, because I'm just like, we usually, I like video chat because I'm really, a face-to-face person. Let's talk, let's mingle with each other. So that's usually, I like video chatting, but it really does not have to be in person. You can do Reiki virtually. So if you find someone that you really, really stick to, that you really, really love, then I would say definitely reach out to them. Also, Lori Pitts in California. I don't know if anyone's in California, but Lori is a really great Reiki practitioner. She actually trained me. I love Lori. So if you guys are in California, she does virtual and she's also in person. So definitely. And yes, it's amazing energy. I don't have to even touch you, and I can actually connect to your energy and be able to send you that healing that you need. So it's amazing.
I know people are saying there's no way, but you could try it, just try it. But sometimes when you listen to what it is, because even when I first heard it, I was like, yeah, right. But I like it. So it's something that you could consider trying, to see if you like it or to learn more about it. Google it, look at the videos, and
right. I always tell people to definitely do some research, Google it, because if you're anything like me, I need my own understanding first. Right. So once I have my own understanding, then I'm able to kind of be open to what, your understanding of it is and what you have to offer with it. So I always tell people, Google it, research it, look at some videos on it, most definitely. But get your own understanding first so that you feel comfortable, because you being comfortable is number one, because you want to be open to the healing. You definitely want to be open to the healing.
I agree. And it's good to share. Like, I love when advocates learn holistic practices that they can share with their victims. I think that is so important. Joy said she would love for you to participate in her March Women event in Columbia. Joy's phenomenal. Thank you, Joy. She's a veteran. And Kathy said, I like the sound of this, Teaira. Those religious institutions worship their institutions. Kathy, you getting on a whole nother, that's a whole topic right there when we talk about religion and spirituality. Yeah, and we've dealt with that. my mom's a minister. So we have definitely talked about religion and spirituality and how does it work and flow. And my mom actually gets Reiki now, which we couldn't
Yeah.
believe.
Yeah, she lets me do her Reiki sessions now, and actually she can see a difference. I can see a difference. It's just more of a, just feeling grounded and balanced. So when my grandma, the ordained minister, said, "Listen, I trust your hands," then yeah, it's definitely you're trusted. So yeah, and
I
yeah,
love it.
Ronisha, definitely the your tongue, and Elizabeth, tongue at the roof of your mouth. Keep your tongue from the roof of your mouth, because when your tongue's at the roof of your mouth, you definitely, it tends to have stress somewhere else in your body and you're not breathing properly. So release that tongue and you'll look, yes.
Yeah, Andy just said
Yeah.
her tongue was at the roof of her mouth. So yeah, you're right.
Yep. Release it and just remember to breathe. Remember to
You
breathe and
gotta
just,
breathe.
keep your shoulders relaxed.
All right. Kathy said, tough to put into words, but I think you got it. I do breathing when I need to get flowing well inside. This sounds good. Yeah. I had a hard time breathing. So now I love to breathe and breathe through the moment.
Yeah. Breath work is really important. So there's breath work, there's meditation. Breath work and meditation, they are two different things, because you can do breath work without the meditation. But when you kind of, you put the two together, is definitely something very powerful.
It
Definitely.
is. It is. I like it a lot. All right. So that's Reiki. So if you have any questions, you can put them in the chat box. You can come in after the show and we'll still be looking at it so that we can answer them. Or you can also do a consultation to just learn more about Reiki and Google it. And YouTube has a lot of information about it too. But like Teaira said, make sure that you're comfortable with the person and that you trust them, because they are touching your energy and we are energy. Everybody is created through energy. And so this person is getting very close to you and feeling your pain and helping you heal. And they will be able to tell, like, if you have childhood trauma, that comes up. Like, you can tell and feel that energy. Even when I think about Tierra, when people walk in the store and they have like an attitude and you already know it. And you just like, let
Yeah.
me just get away. Energy is real. Good
Yeah.
energy and bad energy is real. So I'm glad that you were able to talk about that.
Yeah. And Elizabeth, just to answer your question, I do have people that cry during the session. Some people cry after the session. Some people cry days after, but it just depends on kind of where you are. Some people do boo-hoo during the session. So yeah.
Yeah, I cried my first session. Afterwards, I haven't cried since. So my very first time doing Reiki, I cried. So it can possibly happen. All right. So that is Reiki. So I want to talk about crystals and how crystals work as it relates to healing. So I had a guy today say, I heard people sleep with crystals up under their pillow, and I just don't understand that. So can you give us an overview of what it's like for crystals? What
Yes.
do they do?
So, as you know, crystals are from the earth. So they are created from the earth, and we're from the earth. So it's all one. Crystals, depending on what crystal it is, they give off a certain level and certain set of energy. So that energy may affect your mind, that energy may affect your heart, that energy may affect different things, throughout your life, throughout your body. Crystals are also good for sexual trauma, for any types of grief that you're dealing with, for breaking addictions and bad habits. So it just depends on what you're dealing with and which crystal is going to actually give off that energy needed to align you in whatever space that you're in behind what you're dealing with. So like, say for instance, they also bring abundance and things like that. So they can, bring in that abundance to you. So it's just a lot of different varieties of crystals can do different things in your life, depending on, for one, what intention you set for that crystal, and for two, what the makeup of that crystal is. It all definitely is important. So I would say one of my favorite crystals would have to definitely be amethyst. Amethyst is definitely a great crystal for anyone who is working with breaking addictions, making bad habits. If you have trouble sleeping at night, or you're just not able to sleep, amethyst is a really good stone. I actually have one here. So this is
I
an
got one
amethyst
too.
stone.
I got amethyst on.
Yeah. And this is good to put in your bedroom beside where you're sleeping. If you have trouble sleeping, you can also get a smaller amethyst stone. You can leave, put it in your bra, put it in your pocket, put it in your purse, anywhere that you feel like you may need to keep it there and keep that energy flowing is what you'll do. Amethyst is another good stone. Now, I know it's a lot of people on here who probably, who deal with trauma, who may deal with, family members who are toxic, or co-workers who are toxic, or, even if you're an advocate and you just deal with a lot of different people all the time and different emotions, it's really good to have like protective stones. Protective energy stones like black tourmaline, obsidian, black onyx. These are all stones that will actually help protect you from negative energy. So I also have a bracelet here. I think you wear this bracelet, right?
I
As
do.
well.
I wear it every day.
Yep. So this is a triple protection bracelet, right? So the triple protection has a black stone, which is black obsidian, which it transmutes like negative energy. So it removes negative energy, it transmutes negative energy. And then we have hematite, which is the silver here. And hematite is a really good grounding stone. So if you find yourself just anxious, just kind of like all over the place, and you need to ground yourself, hematite is a great stone for that. And then we have tiger's eye. Tiger's eye is actually probably my top three favorite stones. Tiger's eye brings light to any dark situation. It's good for if you're dealing with anxieties. Tiger's eye is good for also bringing in luck, bringing in money, bringing in prosperity. So it's so many different things that come to you with the stones, but always make sure that you set your intentions with them. But if you are dealing with a lot of like dark things, dark people, a lot of different type of dark emotions, I would definitely suggest that you get you some black stones. Black stones, jet, like I said, black tourmaline, onyx, black obsidian. All those stones are really good for repelling that negative energy from you. I most definitely love black onyx because black onyx is a stone that actually transmute the energy even if it's you. So sometimes we're our own negative energy. Sometimes you just wake up and it's just like, today is not the day, so, and you just already have that negative energy. That's when you'll grab your black onyx stone, and that black onyx will actually transmute any negative energy that you may be feeling within yourself and turn it into positive. So not only those of others, but just yourself. And sometimes we have to do that. Let's see. Would you say that? Collect the high amount of energy, they will crack or break. Yes, Serena.
Well, let me say her question. So with wearing the crystals, would you say that once they are collected, a high amount of energy that they will crack or break?
Yes, so that is definitely the case. If your bracelet breaks, if your crystal breaks, that's because it took all that impact in of whatever it was. Sometimes, even if you lose them, that means that that it has done its job and you need to move on to the next one. So if your crystal breaks, like say for instance, if you have I think you had a clear quartz, right? You had a clear
Yep.
quartz that just cracked in your hand. Clear quartz is a major, major powerful stone. Clear quartz magnifies the energy of whatever you're dealing with. So if you're angry and you're carrying or you have a clear quartz, that anger is going to be magnified. And if that clear quartz breaks, that let you know that it took on a whole lot more energy and things that it needed to take on. Definitely, especially any like protection stones. Now, of course, we know some stones are just really gentle, and if you do them the wrong way, they will break, they'll dissolve, different things like that. But if you have a really strong, solid stone, or even a bracelet, and that bracelet just pops off, that lets you know that it's done its job. Or even sometimes it's not that it's done its job. Sometimes it's a reminder to you to get back into check. Does that make sense? So if you have an amethyst that you carry and you know that you're battling addictions and you're being around and being in different places that may trigger your addictions, and your amethyst breaks or cracks or your bracelet falls off, that's a reminder to you to go ahead and check yourself. Because sometimes we have to check ourselves. Sometimes we have to realize that it may not be my environment. It may be me making the decisions that I'm deciding to make. So definitely.
I love that. So for me, I love amethyst because I deal with addiction. Like when you deal with addiction, alcohol addiction was a struggle for me. So I wear amethyst every single day to help me stay grounded as it relates to addiction. And I'll tell anybody that's dealing with drug addiction, alcohol addiction, sex addiction, it is the perfect addiction stone. And a lot of times when you have trauma, you have addiction. So I'm glad that you showed the amethyst, and I love it. That's truly my favorite. And if you see me, I always have stones. I have crystals. If I'm doing a lot of work with people with a lot of trauma, I'm going to have something black. I love black obsidian. It's going to be in my bra. It's going to be close to me because I have to let go of other people's stuff. I can't let it attach to me. And some of you are
Right.
doing that. And so I really want to make sure that you realize that you can do something to block other people and to actually help you heal. We have a question from Joy. She said, do you recommend different stones for men versus women?
So I would say generally No, but we can categorize them as in what's men versus women. When it comes down to men, I always recommend men do a triple protection stone protection, because as you know, with men, they have a little bit more, things against them out there in the world than we may have as women. You get what I'm saying? So especially when it comes down to like dealing with like any type of negative energy. But honestly, I would not say like men versus women, maybe based off the look. Some men don't want to wear a pink stone, some men may want to just wear dark colored stones. So I always recommend to men triple protection, tiger's eye, black onyx, black obsidian, any of those stones like that. I always recommend to men. Jasper, red jasper is a really good grounding stone. It's red. So a lot of men also, they appreciate the red jasper as well. But I wouldn't separate the stones between men and women. It's really whatever your spirit needs.
I see men like bigger stones though. A lot of times they're
Yeah.
like a larger size
They
stone.
don't want it too dainty.
Yeah. If you're gonna buy. Serena says, I carried the silver stone you just discussed in the shape of a turtle and it broke while wearing. So I think she's talking about the hematite.
Hematite. Yeah, I think you're talking about the hematite. So hematite is another really good grounding stone. So most likely if that stone, for it to be a turtle carved stone and it broke, it definitely took on the energy that you were dealing with. So it took that on. So instead of you and your heart and your spirit being directly impacted by whatever happened, blessed believe that stone took on some of that. So you may not have had the full impact that it could have gave you.
When I was filming my documentary, I was very nervous, right? So I had my stone in my hand and I was praying and I was just asking God to give me the words, the wisdom and encouragement and discernment to do what I'm supposed to do, right? And make a good documentary. And it literally cracked in half. And I was like, well, okay, that's all my nervousness. Go ahead on, Vanessa, and do what you got to do. Because everything, I poured it into that stone and I had a successful day. So I believe in them a lot. Even if you have like bad dreams, you could put crystals up under your pillow to make you feel better. And so I like them. We even give them to my grandson. My grandson carries stones and
a lot of them.
A lot of them, yeah.
I find stones instead of money in the washing machine. Yeah.
Right. We do it just for his confidence. Like when he is about to take a test, he'll have a certain crystal on him, like his favorite crystal he'll put in his pocket to take a test. So children can carry them too. And that's very important that we acknowledge that.
Right. Yeah.
Joy wants to know, do you sell these items?
I do, Joy. I do. My website is Rooted Vibrations with a Z.com. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook at the same name, Rooted Vibrations with a Z. But I do sell them online. I also have a studio here in KC, South Carolina. So I do have my studio. So if you guys are local here to Columbia or in the South Carolina area, if you're ever in the area, definitely stop by my studio and you can definitely come in. All the information is on my website. If you ever have any questions, definitely find me on my website. I have free consultations. So if you kind of trying to figure out what direction you need to go into as far as your holistic, your spiritual journey, definitely set up a free consultation and I'll be more than happy to chat with you. Definitely. Hi, Arians. How are you?
All right. So art therapy is every Thursday is what you're seeing around there. But what I want to bring that up is that with therapy, we could use crystals, right? So we use crystals in therapy. We use crystals whenever we do a meditation. You can always bring crystals in. So I wanted to actually bring that up and refer to that because we use them a lot.
Right. You can put them anywhere that you need to. You can put them in your car. You can put like, for instance, for me, sometimes I'll take a crystal and I will wrap it in like a dollar bill with a little cinnamon and I stick it in my wallet and it actually brings more money to you. So that's a good tip that y'all can take with you for the night.
Especially if you're about to go gambling.
Yeah. And if you're a business owner, right? And you need if you're a business owner and you need some creativity, you need a boost. There's like any yellow crystals, orange crystals like citrine. Those type of crystals were actually really good for kind of gaining creativity. So if you're feeling like you're in a rut, or if you're a writer and you can't think of anything to write, get you a yellow citrine crystal, put it up under your pillow before you go to bed, and make sure you set your attention for your thoughts to flow, and you'll be very surprised what comes out.
I love it. So when you have crystals, and some people have them already, how do they cleanse them? What are some things that you could do to clean your crystals to take all that energy off that has gotten on them?
Yes, that's definitely a great question. So when it comes down to actually cleansing your crystal, it's different things you can do. I don't know if you guys ever heard of like smudging or sage. You can use sage to cleanse it. You can use even water for certain ones. Now, I always tell people some crystals do not need to get wet. So do your research on whatever crystal you have to kind of understand more about it. You don't want to just, you want to do your research on it. But you can use water on it. You can also use salt. So like sea salt, pink Himalayan salt, if you want to sit your crystals in there and allow them to cleanse and charge it. It's also a new moon tonight. So if you want to put your crystals out tonight in your windowsill outside, you can put your crystals outside and actually charge your crystals. So remember that energy that we were talking about? It will enhance that energy that your crystal already gives off. So whatever it is that you're dealing with, it's going to already have that enhanced energy. So you can put it outside up under the new moon. You can put it outside up under the full moon. You can put it in some water. You can put it in salt. You can also cleanse it with your sage or your smudge. And if you don't have any of that, remember that your intentions are always grand. So just put your crystals in between your hand and cleanse it with your intentions and be very clear about that. You can also cleanse your crystals with other crystals. So there's like selenite. Selenite is a crystal that you can cleanse other crystals with, and it brings purity. So there's definitely a lot of different ways that you can, you'll be able to cleanse your crystals.
So for me, I love the beach. So I always take my crystals to the beach. I put them out in the sand. I put them in the ocean. And then I love the moon. So I'm always putting them out in the moon, full moon. I just love that energy. I love anything that's natural, nature. That means a lot to me. So those are my favorite ways to cleanse my crystals. And I wear them every day. I got sleep in mine. So
yeah, I wear mine too. I'm doing a little heart chakra work, right now. This is some ancestral healing. So yeah, and the copper is also a good thing to wear too. I wear copper daily, on my hands. Copper is really good for anyone who may deal with pain. It also keeps you, your vibrations at a really high vibration in a really balanced place. So I wear copper a lot, every day. So copper is really good if you're dealing with any type of pain, or if you just wanted to, do that.
I wear copper too. Yep. All right. So Michelle wants to know what crystal to wrap in $1.
It's a few crystals you can wrap in $1. I would say you can wrap tiger's eye in $1. You can wrap citrine in $1, and most definitely you can wrap pyrite in $1 or fool's gold. Pyrite is probably the number one crystal that I would wrap in $1. It's definitely a really major money manifester. It's also good for dealing with your inner child work too. So if you're dealing with like your inner child, you're trying to get some creativity out there, pyrite is definitely a good crystal to keep with you.
I love aventurine. So for me, anything green. I like jades. The jade and the aventurine are my money drawing crystals that I always use for my business. So
yeah, I wear green aventurine, but this is pyrite. So you guys can see it's like called fool's gold. It's really shiny and I love it. This is pyrite.
Yeah, that's one of your favorites. Joy wanted to know if you could say again regarding money and creativity. So say that one more time.
Yes. So money and creativity, we're going to go for your citrines, for your citrines, for your pyrite. Pyrite, like I said, is really good for bringing in that creativity because it deals with your solar plexus, which is your inner child. Your citrines, which is, I do have a citrine, and your green aventurine, anything that's typically green, yellow, orange, those things are going to aim towards your creativity. And carnelian is actually a good one as well. Carnelian. So I don't know if you're writing this down, but yeah, those are all some really good stones when it comes down to money and creativity.
So crystals is another way that you could use that to heal trauma and to work on that. So I love it, love it, love it. All right. So now I want to talk about herbs. How do people use like herbal teas and different herbs for depression, for anxiety? What can they do from that perspective?
Well, herbs is actually one of the first things that I did kind of dabble in, going into this holistic journey. Just because I was just trying to find ways to be able to relax and be calm, naturally. So herbal teas and different things to be able to heal your body was definitely like that was one of the main things. So there's a few different herbs that you can use to kind of be able to heal it. I actually have some here. There's some herbs called passion flower. Passion flower is a really great herb. This is how it looks here. No, that's a really good clear view. But passion flower is a really great herb to kind of help you deal with depression. It'll keep you out of those lows, especially right now with it being the blues, winter blues. And, a lot of people deal with seasonal depression. I have a lot of clients and customers that come to me like, okay, it's hard. I'm in a rut. I'm trying to get out of it. So that's when I usually make like some type of special blend for most people that's trying to get out of that rut. There's also like just simple herbs by itself. You just take a teaspoon or 2 teaspoons a day. You drink a nice cup of tea in the morning, skip the coffee, and it'll definitely be able to help you out when it comes down to dealing with depression. I also tell people, as we know, like alcohol and things like that, that's a depressant. So if you're already dealing with depression and you say, I'm going to have me a drink of wine and relax and get off the depression, within the next day or two, you're going to still feel that same thing because it's actually a natural depressant. So when you can like swap that bottle of wine or that cup of liquor out for just a cup of tea, it'll change your whole entire life. So not only can you like drink teas, you can also do pre-rolls. So a really good natural way to help you deal with anxiety. Like some people, if you want to dabble into smoking, or if you smoke, and you're just like, I'm trying to lay off on the cigarettes, I'm trying to lay off on, anything else, then doing herbal pre-rolls is a really good way. I actually like make and create herbal pre-rolls just for people to be able to unwind and relax. If you don't want to do anything illegal, there's no like THC, there's no CBD in it, there's no K2, there's all natural herbs that are actually used to kind of give you that relaxation effect so that you'll be able to kind of feel at peace, relieve that anxiety, and be able to even rest at night.
So for me, I like Blue Lotus. So Blue Lotus is the one that I use for depression. It is very relaxing and it helps stabilize my mood, and I drink it as a tea, but people also smoke it. I tried to smoke it. That wasn't for me. Like I tried to do a pre-roll and to smoke the herbs, and it just did not work for me. And so I had to just do it in a tea form. But I do think that it works for some people. It really does help. So I like Blue Lotus and butterfly pea, and I'm always going to drink ginger. So, and then I use Mucana a lot. So depression is one that I deal with and I battle. So I'm always adding something positive. And like I've taken the alcohol away because like Teaira said, it is a depressant, but I've taken that away, but I've added something to add positivity to my life, and it's herbal teas. And I think that they really do work, and you could research them. So what's your favorite tea?
It's fun to make too.
Yeah, they're fun to make.
Yeah, it's fun to make, to kind of mix the different blends together and see it and do the research. Like, it's really amazing what herbs can do for you. I would say my blends kind of changed, but right now my favorite is definitely butterfly pea flour, because that's not only good for weight loss, but that's also good for, like you said, just kind of keeping your mind at ease. Butterfly pea flour, hibiscus. Hibiscus is really good for keeping your blood pressure low. I love hibiscus. It's really good for your root chakra and kind of staying grounded into yourself. I add peppermint just for a little, little flavor. Peppermint and rosemary. I like fresh rosemary, so I add a little rosemary in there. Rosemary is good for clarity. So if you feel like your mind, you can't really think straight, you're just kind of decluttered, rosemary will actually help declutter your brain and give you some clarity so that you'll be able to kind of think more clearly through anything that you're dealing with.
Okay. And as an essential oil, because we weren't even going to talk about oils, but you use rosemary oil for clarity.
Yes.
And put it here.
Yeah. So I put it on my temples. Rosemary is really good for that. If you are even someone who deals with having headaches, if you have migraines, essential oils like peppermint is really good, because I know sometimes you may be triggered by something. You may watch something, you may hear something, and it triggers you and it gives you a headache. That does happen. So you get you some peppermint oil, you put that peppermint oil on your temple, put it so you can smell it, and It's really good for you. You can put it on the inside of your hand, just so throughout your day, if you feel stressed, you can just smell it. And there's a lot of different essential oil mixtures that you can use to kind of relieve anxiety, relieve stress, and even pick you up. Like orange essential oil is really good if you're trying to wake up, if you're trying to have some energy, if you're trying to start your day in the morning. I always tell people to have a humidifier in your home, a humidifier that you can put your oils in, because it's really good. It's good for you to breathe it in, especially in the times of COVID right now. Different oils like oregano oil, those are all good oils to kind of kill bacteria, but they also make you feel good. So my thing is, I definitely I want you to be able to feel good, enjoy it, not a hassle, but also just do better for yourself, but enjoy doing it while you're at it.
I love it. Yeah, I like essential oils too,
Yeah,
and I love to just
love it.
burn them. Yeah, I burn them all the time. So
Right. I'm right now. I love wearing Yang Lang, Lang, and Patchouli. Those are my two oils right now that I love.
yeah, I used to say patchouli. I had used to mess that word up all the time. I would mess up
It's a
the
lot of
word.
words that
Yeah,
we
I'll
messed
mess
up.
up a word.
You know what I meant.
All right. Joy said this was excellent information. She thanks you for your transparency, and that this is great information for women as well. Serena wanted to know, have you discussed chakras and which crystals are best for each?
Yeah, well, we haven't discussed it here. That's a lot, but I can give you a breakdown real quick if you want to jot it down or come back to it. So, we'll start at the root. If your root chakra, which is down at the base of your spine, your root chakra, a good stone for that, I would definitely say would be jasper. Red jasper is a really good stone for your root chakra. It keep you grounded. Your next chakra is going to be your sacral chakra. Your sacral is where your creativity lives. That's where, if you have any type of sexual trauma, or if you're dealing with anything, that's where your sacral chakra, you want to work on that actual sacral chakra. And that's where your womb lies as well. So I would definitely say carnelian. Carnelian is a really good chakra for dealing with, a really good stone for dealing with your sacral chakra. Next is going to be your solar plexus, which is right above your belly button and below your chest. Solar plexus is it's a lot of different varieties. I'm a really big on my solar plexus. It's really good for your inner child. So if you're dealing with some things from childhood that you're trying to heal through, definitely your solar plexus. You will want to get citrine, any type of yellow stones, citrine. I would say carnelian is good for that as well. The pyrite is good for that. Tiger's eye is also good for your solar plexus as well. So those are all definitely some really good stones for that. And next up is going to be your heart chakra. Your heart chakra is, of course, right here at your heart. And your heart chakra is just, if you have trouble with relationships, if you can't keep relationships, if you can't, have successful relationships, then you want to work on your heart chakra. If you feel like you're blocking people off, or if you're just over emotional, or if you're letting too many people in and you lack boundaries, you want to work on your heart chakra. Your heart chakra is going to be green stones, green aventurine, rose quartz is the most popular. Most definitely rose quartz, rhodonite. All of those pink and green colored stones are going to be really good for your heart chakra. And then we have your throat chakra. Your throat chakra here, this is going to be blue. This is going to be your communication, how you get things out, are you able to actually communicate effectively how you're feeling emotionally. That's really good for your throat chakra. So those are going to be stones like sodalite, stones like amazonite, stones like kyanite, any type of blue stones that actually help you be able to work through that throat chakra and get those emotions, those thoughts, and those feelings out, will most likely be a blue stone. And then we have your third eye, which is right here. I also call it your first eye because it's your first eye. So your first eye is going to be your connection to trusting yourself, your connection to spirit is more of your crown, but most definitely are you able to have a sense of discernment, if that makes sense? Are you able to kind of, have a sense of emotional balance? So that's going to be your amethyst, which is most common for that. Also, another good one is lepidolite. Is also another really good stone for your third eye as well. And then we have your crown chakra, which is at the top of your head. This is your connection to the divine. This is your connection to God. This is your connection to the universe. So before you have these chakras here open and balanced, you want to make sure that your lower three chakras are balanced. But a good stone for that is clear quartz, which is a really strong stone. So you want to be in a good place before you're really actively using that stone. But definitely clear quartz is a really good stone to work on your crown chakra.
Yep. Thank you. That was really, really, really good. Bobby wants to know, are men as receptive as women when receiving therapy?
That's a really great question, Bobby, but I would actually have to say no. I would say from so far from what I've dealt with, from what I've experienced, it is a little bit more work to kind of get men in, but when they're in and they agree to it, they're usually like, "Oh my gosh," I always get the "How did you?" I always get that after I deal with men. So I guess it's kind of two ways to answer that question. They are as receptive when receiving, but it's harder to get them to receive it, if that makes sense. So men are just like, "Oh my gosh, like how did you know that?" I had one guy, he was like, "I just have one question. How did you know all that about me?" And I was like, "Because you were open, you were willing and open to actually learning and receiving the healing that you need." So this, I would say they are pretty, when they get the healing, they're like, "Oh my gosh," they're happy about it. But it is harder to get men to kind of come in and actually do the healing.
I like the guy that you helped stop smoking.
Yes.
When that's a hesitation at first. So when he did come in and he stopped smoking. So
Yeah, and
I think
drinking.
that's good.
He's actually still on the journey of stop smoking and drinking as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was my one who was like, "How did like how did
Yeah.
you pick up on all this for me?" But yeah, that's probably one of my, I really enjoy when you, not only is it something that I'm healing you, but you have to also put the work behind it. So as we know, faith without works is dead. So I'm also doing the healing, but you have to also put that work. You have to put that knowledge. It's not like a a snap of the finger. It's not like a magic trick. There's work that comes from the both of us. I have to put the work in, and you have to put the work in as well to really attain your greatest desire. So definitely, I definitely love working with men. I want to work with more men because I really feel like it's really important for you guys to get that healing, for you guys to understand that there is resources out there for you. There's someone out here who cares. We want to see you heal. We want to see you doing better. We're not against you. So I'm really big on, getting men into this more holistic healing. I have a good bit of men who, came to me and asked me questions and kind of, dibble and dabble. And I absolutely love it. I love it because I really, when we can heal the man, we really can heal households. I know we say that with women, but the man is really like the pillar of the household. When the man is okay, really everybody is okay. So that's our men is definitely, men and children is really where I really want to kind of dive in and really get this holistic help and therapy to you guys.
I love it. And you mentioned children. So everything that we're talking about, children can do too. So
Right.
what is your theory on children? Like starting them early or
Yes. So as with Braylon, he's a major meditator. Braylon has been meditating since he was about 6. So he's 9 going on 10 now. So he knows how to sit down and meditate. He's different. He doesn't like to listen to guided meditations. He doesn't want to hear anyone talking. He wants to hear, just the music. So children are different when it comes down to it. But I say the earlier the better. They can start as far as newborn. So I can actually, newborns can have a Reiki services performed on them. There's no type of negativity into it. Newborns can listen to meditation music. You can put crystals around them to protect them. When they start getting to like 3 months and older, there's certain herbs that you can actually give them to help them, naturally. Like, instead of giving them the gripe water out of the store, you can make your very own natural gripe water and give it to your newborn to help them with colic and gas and different things like that. When it comes down to them being able to meditate, the earlier the better. When you start kind of getting them, teaching them and showing them, it's really about showing them. When they see you make the change in your life and you sit down and meditate, you'll be very surprised that you'll see your child one day sitting in the corner just meditating, trying to find a peaceful moment for themselves because they've seen you do it. So it's really important that we realize that they watch us and that they're going to mimic us and do the things that we want, that we do for ourselves to kind of make ourselves better. And you can also see, a difference in your child and how they interact with other children. So when you're meditating with them and you're teaching them to be mindful, you're teaching them to be able to communicate their emotions, feel their emotions, and tell other people how they're feeling. It definitely helps out a lot in the long run and how they communicate with themselves, with other people, with their siblings. So meditation is really important for them. Herbal remedies, so they can know, there's other ways to kind of, help yourself out there. Crystals, I would definitely say, put a crystal in your child hand and explain it to them. You can start with one crystal at a time. Hey, this is this stone. Or hey, take them to the store, see which one they like. Whatever it is that they pick up, that's what they're attracted to. You guys take that one crystal, you take it home, you learn about it, you read about it, you meditate with it, you just really embody that crystal and learn about it, and you'll be very surprised how much they retain and how much they remember.
We have a lot of parents that have children that deal with trauma. So if your children have witnessed domestic violence, if they have been molested, looking at holistic ways to help them heal is important alongside counseling. But having holistic ways really do help children as well as adults. So I want people to understand that and know it and try it out. It might work for you, it might not, but try it. I want people just to look at all these different ways. So one thing I have asked of you, Teaira, is to do a meditation. So what I wanted to do was to have them experience at least a 2-minute meditation, and not necessarily how it's guided on YouTube. People
Right.
don't always like guided. Some people like guided. So if you have a hard time focusing on yourself, do the guided meditation or try to practice it on your own. Can you run down like what meditation looks for you? Like, I'm sorry. Can you run down what meditation looks like for you and give us an example of it?
Okay. Well, meditation, as you know, that's, I think, one of the biggest misconceptions of what people think it's supposed to look like. Meditation is really taking the moment to be in a moment, focusing on that one thing. So whether you want to focus on love, whether you want to focus on a particular item in the room, whether you want to, just be able to actually be in the moment and not have your mind everywhere else, during that time. So for me, I am big on guided meditation. I love guided meditations, different type of guided meditations, but I also am able to kind of sit with myself and do like I am affirmations. So if you find yourself, you don't know where to start meditating, you don't know what to do, just sit with yourself for a moment. Sit, you can lay down, you can lean back, just be comfortable. I'm a lay down meditator. If you don't want to sit up with your legs crossed and your spine straight, that's perfectly fine. You're starting out, do what makes you comfortable. That's the most important part. Do what makes you comfortable, do what works for you, so that you'll be able to have the best experience. So I'll usually lay down, and then I'll, if I want to just kind of meditate on my I am affirmation. So you can start with I am peace, I am love, I am kind, I am pure, I am light. So you'll just repeat to yourself different I am affirmations. You can close your eyes. You can keep your eyes open and focus on one thing. But I would say I am peace, I am love, I am light, I am kindness, I am pure, I am happiness, I am strong, I am resilient, I am love, I am peace, I am light, I am full, I am strength. And while you do your meditation, you want to make sure that you continuously keep a slow, steady pace of breath. When you're breathing in, you want to fill up your belly with air. So you don't want to fill your chest up with air first. You want to fill your belly with air, and then you allow your chest to expand. So you'll breathe in through your nose, because when you breathe in through your nose, that detoxifies the air that's coming into your body. So when you breathe in through your nose, it detoxifies the air, and then you'll push it out through your mouth. So you'll breathe in those positive affirmations. And then you'll push out any type of negative emotions, thoughts, or feelings. So usually I say I'll breathe in peace, prosperity, and protection. I'll push out anxiety, frustration. So you can take 2 to 3 minutes out of your day to do that. Just repeat your I am affirmations to yourself. And that's as simple as meditating. It doesn't always have to look any particular way. Meditating also looks like sitting down, drawing, coloring. listening to music as you walk through your house, as you lay on the couch. That looks like meditating. Being able to be in that moment for that moment is what meditation is. Being mindful of where you are and allowing yourself to just be. So don't be too hard on yourself if you feel like you're not doing it right, if you feel like you're, just it doesn't look like it's supposed to look like. Just try and start. There's nothing beats failure but a try.
I love that. Sometimes I meditate while walking, so meditation looks different, but we think that it's sitting down Indian style, sitting there for 20, 30 minutes. And I will tell you, I have a hard time meditating. So I'm like a little squirrel. And Teaira was like, just start doing your I am affirmations whenever you get lost and get back focused. And so I just sit there in that moment. I start my day off that way. And it does make a difference. It really does. Yeah. Or when somebody getting on my nerves, when somebody testing me, I just sit down. I'm gonna be in this moment.
Go to the car if you need to, sit in the car, relax. So yeah, definitely. And the more you do that, the more you will train your brain to relax. So even when you are in a chaotic situation, we talked about that in the beginning, it's going to train your brain to be able to relax and to come back to that calm state because you've already been constantly doing that.
I like that. Josh says, I breathe in, I am brave, bold, and beautiful.
I love
that. And she says she started the beginning of her day at Sam with it, saying at 5 a.m. Oh goodness, at 5 a.m. and soothing music too. Yeah.
Yeah, that changes the whole trajectory of your day, though. When you can start it being very intentional about where you're going with your day. And I like to start my day also with gratitude meditations because, a lot of times we wake up in the morning and we're thinking, I have to do this, I have to do that, and instead of just, being thankful that you had another day to actually do the things that you need to get done. So I love starting my day with just gratitude meditations, and you just name 10 things that you're grateful for. I'm thankful for the sun. I'm thankful for the sky. I'm thankful for my bed. Just name 10 things when you wake up in the morning, you open your eyes that you're thankful for, and that will change your whole entire day.
It does. It does. And I love, though, the B. So brave, bold, and beautiful. That's a good way to remember that. I love affirmations. I have affirmations on my refrigerator, and on my bathroom mirror. I speak to myself positive a lot because I've spoke to myself so negative over the years. I had a lot of depression and bad moments. And so I would say bad things to myself, And so now I walk around the house and I can see something positive that I can always just stop in the moment and say to myself. And so I love affirmations, and that is a way of meditating. So it's not hard, y'all. Everybody could try it. It's not like 30 minutes and you got to stay focused, So I think it's important to, Catherine said, being intentional is the key for her.
Yes.
You got to be having attention at the beginning of your day.
Yeah, and being intentional, period. My biggest thing for me is just being intentional in everything that I do. Everything that you say, everything you do, you have to be very intentional about it because our words are very, very powerful. Our thoughts are just as powerful. So, you can be sitting there saying, I'm happy, but your thoughts don't correlate with that happiness. You're going to end up being on that lower vibration of being unhappy. So just being really intentional about what you do, what you say, where you put yourself, where you allow yourself to be, who you allow to come into your space. Definitely being intentional is key.
Thank you, Teaira. You have given us a lot of information tonight. I wanted to know, is there anything else that you want to share before we get out of here?
I just want to say thank you all for having me. Thank you for being open to the alternative ways of healing yourself in a more holistic way. My biggest thing is making sure that we heal from the root of things. My goal is to always be intentional in everything that I do. And I'm just really glad to be here, be happy, see where I am now, because it's been a time in my life where I was just like, where am I going? So to finally be at a place where I can not only walk in my purpose, but just walk boldly in my purpose and help other people kind of find theirs and walk in theirs as well. It's definitely, it's a blessing. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be able to share my knowledge with other people and share my light with other people, because that's the goal. The goal is the impact. It's the impact for me. That's what I always say. It's the impact for me, and we're healing from the root of things. We're not just band-aiding it. We're not just putting a fix on it. We're actually getting to the root of any problems, any issues that we may be facing, and really, working through those things. So if you guys ever want to find me, you can definitely find me at rootedvibrations.com. I do virtual in-person Reiki sessions. I do children and adult group meditation classes. I also do herbal consultations. So if you're trying to find a 30-day wellness plan where you're trying to, get on the right track of trying to find ways of healing yourself in a more herbal, holistic route, I do consultations. And I also do free clarity consultations. So if you want to just come in and sit and talk to me for 15 minutes, or we can do Zoom or on the phone to kind of see where we need to go, then I can definitely do that with you as well. So thank you guys for having me. Thank you for having me, Mother.
You are welcome. I'm proud of you. So I feel like you have gotten to the point that you are really helping people. And I'm real big on helping those who are dealing with trauma, just bad days, who just, in a bad place. So how can we all get to this better place and heal? You have a right to tell it, and you have a right to heal anything that you're going through, and using holistic practices help. And I hope that if you have a friend, a family member, a survivor that you're working with, if you're an advocate, that you share some of these practices and idea for them to try, because we've never heard of a lot of them. And there's a lot of things that we can do. And we just barely touched the surface in this hour. This is just a bare minimum to get you some ideas, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we do this every Tuesday night. So on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, there's always someone here that we interview. And so thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us. So if you have any questions, you can reach out to Teaira and ask her any questions that you have. You can go to her website. You could message her on social media platforms. She does not mind. And I will also put her information in the chat box. And like she said, you can go to her website as well. So reach out if you have any questions. If you have questions about your children, and your children are going through a tough time right now, don't ignore it. Reach out and get help for your kids, even in your local area. So Teaira's in South Carolina. There's places all over the country that will help you from a holistic way. It's not just here, it's all over. Okay. Yes. So, but of course, Teaira's my favorite Reiki practitioner and herbalist. Like, I'm really proud of her. So thank you.
Anything that I don't do, I always will happily, put you in a direction of someone that can help you. So I'm really big on that. Hi, Naima. How are you?
Well, thank you for joining us. Right. So we came to a close of a great show, some good information. I thank you all for joining us, because I want you to learn something that you could take away, take home and use, right? I don't want you to just have something that you get the information and you don't use it. Try it out. I use it. I am big on herbal teas. I drink herbal teas every night before I go to bed. I use crystals. I carry crystals. You will never see me without a crystal. I do Reiki sessions and I meditate. And I will tell you, I'm not the best person that meditate. Like, I don't do the 10-minute meditation. I'm about 5 minutes, because I always got something to do. My mind be racing like a squirrel, right? So, but I try to just calm down and be in the moment. And so I want you to try to do the same thing, and to share this so that people could hear how they can heal naturally too. It's not always just medication. And remember, this show is not to diagnose you. It's not to tell you not to take your medication. Don't say that Dr. Guyton and Teaira told you not to take your medication. That is not what this is. You could do this in conjunction with, and you could talk to your doctor about it as well, right? So it's proven practices that we use. So it's not a diagnosis. So don't try to come and say that we told you to do this. We're giving you some suggestions that I would love you to use. If you do something, let me know. Let me know if it works, right?
And that's what I do. I work with the doctor, and also I'm actually now, with holistic medicine is now being more accepted. So if you have an insurance company that has alternative or holistic medicine, your services, your Reiki services, will actually be covered by your Flex spending account or your healthcare spending account. So if you do have any, you want to be able to come get a Reiki session, it can actually possibly be covered. So just reach out to me. We'll review your insurance plan and see what we can get you guys covered.
I love it. Yeah, see, I didn't know about the insurance part.
Yeah.
I love it. All right. So we are excited because February is Hush No More's anniversary. It is our 3rd year anniversary, and we are going to have a paint party on February the 20th. And so if you would like to join us and help us celebrate, we're going to have food and music and just have a great time. The theme is transformation, and just really be proud of everybody that's on our team. Like, Teaira is an amazing volunteer. I work my kids. I really do work my kids. Like, they're part of Hush No More, but We are going to celebrate February 20th. I would love for you all to come if you are in Columbia, South Carolina. Please join us. You can also join us for art therapy every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It is so much fun. You don't have to be an artist, but that's a way of meditation. Like, we work on that in there and just focus on something else besides your long day or the people that's getting on your nerve. You can come to art therapy. And on April the 9th, we have the Hush No More Against Sexual Abuse 5K and walk, right? You could run it or you could walk. You could join us virtually in person. Please sign up. We are trying to raise awareness about all types of sexual abuse during the month of April. We have a lot of events going on. I would love for you all to join us, okay? Naima, the video will be replayed. You can see it on Facebook and you can see it on YouTube or on our podcast, Hush No More. And Serena, tickets are still available for the Hush No More Paint Night. You can go to our Hush No More events page and find the link to get tickets, or you can go to Eventbrite and also find the tickets. So I thank you all for joining us. This has been an amazing episode. Thank you so very much, Teaira. Like I said, if y'all have any questions, please ask, ask. And we'll try to get all the answers to you. So peace and blessings to you. Remember that you have a right to heal and you have a right to tell it. You don't have to suffer. Peace and blessings, y'all.